all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 6, chapter entitled as The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. Text number? I also don't know the text number upon which I am supposed to speak. I am reading along with you only. 27. I was just informed. So, I don't know the shloka number. So, before we commence our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, first of all, I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas assembled over here, especially His Holiness Bhakti Brahad Bhagavat Swami Maharaj and all the devotees. Because today it's really great. I need mercy. Hare Krishna. Text number 27. Raja tad yajna sadanam pravishto nishitarshitaha društva shayanan viprans tan papo mantra jalam swayam. Raja tad yajna sadanam pravishto nishitarshitaha društva shayanan vipranstan papo mantra jalam swayam. Raja tad yajna sadanam pravishto nishitarshitaha društva shayanan vipranstan papo mantra jalam swayam. Raja tad yajna sadanam pravishto nishitarshitaha društva shayanan vipranstan papo mantra jalam swayam. Mataji. word-to-word meaning. Raja, the king Yuvanashva. Tad yajna sadanam, the arena of sacrifice. Pravishtaha, entered. Nishi, at night. Tarshitaha, being thirsty. Društva, seeing. Shayanan, lying down. Vipran, all the Brahmanas. Tan, all of them. Papau, drank. Mantra jalam, water sanctified by mantras. Swayam, personally. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Being thirsty, one night the king entered the arena of sacrifice. And when he saw all the Brahmanas lying down, he personally drank the sanctified water meant to be drunk by his wife. Purport. Yajnas performed by Brahmanas according to Vedic ritualistic ceremonies are so potent that the sanctified water by Vedic mantras can bring about the desired result. In this instance, the Brahmanas sanctified the water so that the king's wife might drink it in the yajna, but by the providence, the king himself went there at night and being thirsty, drank the water. Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitauscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, in today's purport, he is mentioning by the providence, the king drank that water. And this word yadrichaya appears many times in the Bhagavatam, although it is not in today's verse. But we see when the great devotees or the kings, they used to become thirsty, histories have been created. When King Parikshit, he felt thirsty, he went to the ashram of Shamik Rishi, and he was not well respected, he was not greeted. Then he apparently insulted Shamik Rishi. Then he was cursed, and we know the history, how Srimad Bhagavatam appeared. Many times it has happened. Even Agastya Rishi visited the hermitage of Indradyumna king, and when Agastya was not welcomed, then he cursed, then he became Gajendra in the next life. And herein we see in today's verse, King Yuvanashva, he became thirsty, and by the will of providence, he drank that sanctified water. So as we go ahead with the shlokas, we'll find Prabhupada mentions many times and explains about the providence. And if we refer to the teachings of Bhishma Dev to Yudhishthir Maharaj, this providence is nothing but Krishna. By the will of providence means by the will of Krishna. Superior arrangement. And as we go ahead in the shlokas in this chapter, we'll find the Brahmanas, they offer obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By his will, the king has drunk this water. So here again, today, it's by the will of providence I am sitting here. Because it was not predestined, I am supposed to give a discourse or a class today. But suddenly, by the will of providence, that is Radha Ras Bihari, just few hours before I was ordered or instructed or requested to speak on today's verse. Although I am also reading with you. So I need really blessings of all the devotees, especially all the senior devotees assembled over here. Srila Prabhupada also mentions that the Vedic mantras, if they are properly chanted by qualified Brahmanas, they act, it has potency, they work effectively. And many times we see and read in the history of Vedic literature that if a Brahmana curses someone, it would act. It's not like today's curse. Somebody says something, many people say so many things about others or especially their enemies, still it doesn't work. But in those days, when the Brahmanas were qualified, people were having a lot of integrity and purity of their hearts, the mantras would work. We can see in the history, it works. Just as Shringi, he cursed Parikshit Maharaj, and it worked. Anybody in those days who were having high character, who were following the Vedic ritualistic rules and regulations, their words and their curses and their blessings were working upon. And in today's shloka, we see in this scene, in this scenario, when King Yuvanashva, he did not have any offspring, he arranged a sacrifice, wherein he was supposed to get some sanctified water from the Brahmanas, and his wife was supposed to drink that. But by the will of providence, he felt thirsty in the night and he drank while all the Brahmanas were sleeping. So, if we read some verses ahead, there the Brahmanas, they understand there are some things which are beyond our control. There is someone who is managing us also, who is having higher powers than us. So we offer him obeisances. That is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Shri, we can say Shri Shri Radha Rasbihari. So when our lives also, we find ourselves into some crisis, we should understand, it is by the superior, higher arrangement. It is the will of providence. The problem is that we forget Krishna in every situation. And then we start blaming others. Because of him, because of her, this is happening. He is the culprit. And he has instigated or she has instigated some conspiracy against me, and that's why it's happening. But in this arena of sacrifice, the priests, the Brahmanas, they say it is by the will of providence. It is done by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then there is no worry, there is no anxiety, there is no distress. Just as the last time I was giving example of a surgeon or a doctor. When a doctor gives injection, when we see the doctor's hand behind the injection, we feel less pain, less painful. But if we see somebody else's hand behind the injection, except the doctor, how much painful it will be. So similarly, if we see Krishna in every situation, just as Parikshit Maharaj, Kunti Devi, all the great stalwart devotees, they used to see Krishna in every situation. That's how they were immune to all the problems of materialistic life. Our dear Srila Prabhupada, when the Japanese were bombing Calcutta in Second World War, Prabhupada was making kachoris, and someone asked, why are you making kachoris? Prabhupada said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu Sarva Haraschaham. I am death personified. So I am making kachoris for Krishna. He is coming as death here in Calcutta now. So that eye surgery is needed to be done. We should try to say Krishna in every situation. That's why Prabhupada mentions in the preface of Nectar of Instruction a very nice golden line. Prabhupada's purport is filled with all gems, diamonds, rubies, pearls and everything. So one such statement is, advancement in Krishna consciousness depends upon the attitude of the follower. So here in this today's context, the Brahmanas, the priest, those who are performing the sacrifice, they thought, even King Yuvanashva, he also thought that it is by the will of providence. So this understanding of Krishna's mercy is needed in every situation. And these Vedic mantras have a lot of potencies. As we know, in the case of Srila Prabhupada's, that small tape, he is explaining about the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, the transcendental vibration established by the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Such a powerful speech that Prabhupada has given. Only 5 minutes, but it's so potent, it contains everything. Prabhupada gives the technique also, how to chant, the bhava, the sentiment also. Just as a child cries for its mother, so a sadhaka in the same mood should chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Vedic mantras are mantras. There are so many thousands and thousands of mantras in Vedic literatures. But this Hare Krishna is Mahamantra. This is Mahamantra. It is king of all mantras. And under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya and priest of our life, of this ISKCON society, he is the main person, he is the preeminent Acharya of ISKCON. Under his guidance and in the light of his purports, if we take shelter of this Mahamantra, it will act, it acts, it works. Even though we are so hard-hearted in the material world, in this Kali Yuga, even though, just as it is next to impossible for King Yuvanashva without the blessings of the Brahmanas to beget a son, isn't it? But by the blessings of the Brahmanas, he begot a son. So similarly, it is next to impossible for a materialistic person like me or anybody in the Kali Yuga to achieve Krishna in this life. But by the blessings of Prabhupada and his mercy, it is possible to achieve Krishna. It is possible. Because mercy of a Vaishnava can do anything. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate giri yat kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. Anything can happen. So, Prabhupada time and again, Jai Sri Radha Ras Bihari Bhagavan ki, Sri Sri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki. Time and again, Prabhupada explains the power of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as well as he mentions in his purports, in his speeches, in his lectures, one should avoid the 10 offenses while chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Then this mantra will work. This will act properly. And specifically, the Vaishnava Aparadh. As in this context of chapter, the downfall of Saubhari Muni, we will see. Although Saubhari Muni was practicing austerities undercurrent inside the water for thousands of years, why he fell down? So we'll discuss about it. Prajapati Kashyapa has many wives, and one such is Kadru, who gave birth to snakes. And he has another wife also, her name is Vinata. She gave birth to Garuda. Shukadeva Goswami mentions Sakshat Yadnesha Vahanam. She gave birth to Sakshat Yadnesha Vahanam, the carrier of Lord Yadnesh, Lord Vishnu, Narayana. That is Garuda. As the psychology goes, two wives, combined husband, the chemistry is a big mystery, basically. It doesn't work so properly. So, Kadru and Vinata used to regularly have some kind of quarrel, some kind of dispute. One fine day, they saw a white horse, a celestial voice horse in the sky. And Kadru said, the tail of the horse is black. Vinata said, no, it's white only. It's white only. No, it's black. So they had a lot of argument. Okay, let us find out whether it's black or white. When they were going to make sure whether it is black or white, suddenly Kaliya, he ran and he encircled the tail of that horse. Now see, it's black or white? It's black only. She was defeated. Vinata was defeated because Kaliya wanted his mother to win. And the condition of that competition was that anybody who was defeated, she had to become maid servant. So Vinata became maid servant of Kadru, and she used to serve Kadru, wash her clothes, clean her house, everything. Garuda was feeling very, very bad about it. What is this going on? My mother, she's serving so badly. So then he asked for the remedy. Kadru says, if you bring nectar for me, then I can release your mother from my slavery. Then there is a long story, we will not go into that. There is a long story behind that. Then Garuda goes and he gets very dramatically that nectar and he brings. Thereafter, Vinata was released from that slavery. Garuda's natural food is snakes. He used to eat children, kids, offsprings of Kadru, issues of Kadru. Snakes are his natural food. So one day it was resolved that under some certain tree there will be certain snakes, certain number of snakes kept for Garuda, and he can come and eat. Prabhu mentions in some purport that in Nagaland, Manipur area that happened. So Garuda used to come, eat those snakes and go away. He would not trouble the other snakes. One day Garuda came and saw that Kaliya himself, he is eating his food. He used to eat the small snakes. Kaliya was very big. Then Garuda became very, very angry. And he attacked Kaliya and defeated, and he wanted to kill also. But Kaliya somehow ran. Kaliya fled. He ran, and he came to Vrindavan. He came on the banks of Yamuna river, wherein Saubhari Muni was performing austerities. He was performing austerities. Why he came there? Because before Kaliya came there, many years before, Garuda used to come there in Yamuna. In the area where Saubhari Rishi was meditating for thousands of years, in that area, he used to come, catch some fishes, and go away. When Saubhari Muni saw that, she became very angry because he was having some affinity, some friendship, some kind of soft corner for the fishes. And he felt very angry upon Garuda and he cursed Garuda. That if you try to come here again and eat those fishes, you will die. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, although Garuda can have easily reversed that curse, he is a great devotee of the Lord. A Vaishnava, Mahajana, is above all curses. Any curse do not affect a devotee, a pure devotee. But just out of respect, Garuda did not come there, a respect to a sadhu. And Kaliya knew this. This is the only area wherein Garuda cannot come. Otherwise, Ram Naam Satya hai. I will be killed. That's why Kaliya was staying there. But Acharya Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says, it was a great Vaishnava aparad on the part of Saubhari Muni. He should have understood that being a bird, it's his natural ahar, natural food to eat fishes, snakes, reptiles. And moreover, Garuda is Sakshat Yadnesha Vahanam. It's the carrier of Lord Narayana, Vishnu, Krishna. No matter how much big devotee we become, if we offend a Vaishnava, even a smaller one, still will fall down. It comes in the section of Rahugan Maharaj and Jada Bharat. When Rahugan indirectly insults Jada Bharat, and Jada Bharat gives him some instructions, therein immediately Rahugan Maharaj understands that he is a great Vaishnava, a great Brahmana. Then he comes down from his palanquin and he says so many things glorifying a Vaishnava. And therein he says, even if Lord Shiva, Shulapani, even if Lord Shiva offends a Vaishnava, still he will have effect of that Vaishnava aparadha. So I fear Vaishnava aparadha. I do not fear Yamadanda also, he says there, but I fear Vaishnava aparadha. So I beg your forgiveness. Please reveal your identity and give me some instructions on the path of self-realization. Thereafter, these teachings to Rahuguna appear in 5th canto. So offense to a Vaishnava will act upon everyone. So much so, Lord Chaitanya did not even spare his own mother, Sachimata. When she offended Advaita Acharya in mind only, she did not utter, but she thought that this Advaita is not Advaita, he is Dvaita. Because of his association, my elder son Vishwarup became sannyasi, a mendicant. So this offense also, who is Yashodamai, who is Sachimata, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not forgive, unless and until Sachimata begged forgiveness from Advaita Acharya. So, what to speak of us? That's why the mantra, Maha Mantra, doesn't yield the desired result. So Prabhupada time and again reminds us, warns us about this Vaishnava aparadha. Be careful about it. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while instructing to Rupa Goswami, he mentions the creeper of Bhakti Lata is very tender and delicate. It needs to be protected properly. And there is very great danger of mad elephant aparadha, Hati Mata aparadha, that is Vaishnava aparadha. It can easily uproot the creeper of devotional service. No matter who we are, whether a neophyte devotee, just we have come today to ISKCON or started our bhakti today, this hour, or whether we have been practicing since lifetimes. Doesn't matter. But if we offend a Vaishnava, any Vaishnava, he may not be a pure devotee also. In the case of Dhruva Maharaj, we see when Dhruva Maharaj went to jungle in Madhuvana, that time he was not a pure devotee. In Nectar of Devotion, he is cited for a devotee who is having material desire, Artharthi. His example is given. That means that time he was not a pure devotee. And that time his stepmother, Suruchi, had offended him when he was not a pure devotee. But later on, when he became a pure devotee, the offense resulted. Her son, Uttam, he went to the jungle. He was killed by Gandharvas. And she went to search him. She was beaten by serpent. And Prabhupada mentions there that it is the result of a Vaishnava aparadha. It doesn't matter when we commit, whom we commit, and who we are. It will work today or tomorrow. So that's why it's very, very important. We should be very careful about Vaishnava aparadha, not committing Vaishnava aparadha. That's why while glorifying Srila Prabhupada every day we sing Vando Mui Savadhana Mate. That is this. This is it. We should be very careful. Skanda Puran explains about 6 types of Vaishnava aparadhas. There are 6 types of Vaishnava offenses. Would you like to know? We can just check which we commit generally. I commit many. You may not be committing, but still, just to keep the red light alert, this is it. Hanti nindanti vadveshti. Vaishnavat nabhinandanti. Kurdhayati no harsham. Darshane patanani shat. Shat means 6. There are 6 offenses to a Vaishnava. First is Hanti, one who kills a Vaishnava. Very, very grave offense. Second is one who blasphemes a Vaishnava. Just like the other day I was telling about the disease, Ebola, very deadly disease. And it started from somewhere from Africa and it came to India. It was very deadly. And somebody just today morning only reminded me of that disease. Ebola. But there is even more dangerous disease than Ebola. You know what is that? It's in Hindi, but still, I'll repeat. You know, आपके बारे में क्या बोला? बहुत कुछ बोला, ये बोला, ऐसा बोला, वैसा बोला, क्या क्या नहीं बोला, बहुत कुछ बोला. So that bola, that speaking and hearing is a blasphemy. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is glorified as Patit Pavana. Lochandas Thakur says, Sabha Avatara, Sara Shiromani, Kevala Ananda Kanda. Although he is the most munificent incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead, but still, he also doesn't spare Vaishnava. He did not spare his mother only, what to speak of others. When Gopal Chapal offended Srivas Thakur, thereafter Gopal Chapal he encountered leprosy. And when he approached Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, this is only sample. Wait, you will rot in the hellish planetary system for millions of years because of your offense to Srivas Thakur. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he is most munificent, Rupa Goswami says, Namo Mahavadanyaya and everything, but still he doesn't spare this Vaishnava. That's why we find this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is said that Sri Chaitanya Mukhodgirna Hare Krishneti Varnakaha Majjayanto Jagat Premnam Vijayanta Tada Avyayaha. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra has appeared, emanated from the lotus mouth of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it is conquering all over the universes by its love. Although it is the topmost Mahamantra, still it doesn't work upon us. Chaitanya Charitamrut says, even by chanting once, Hare Krishna Mahamantra purifies, Krishna's name purifies so many sinful activities that we will not be able to commit also. The holy name, the Harinam, has its potency. But still, why it doesn't work? Because we may have some tendency of blaspheming the devotees, either hearing or speaking. It doesn't matter whether it's true, false, it is allegation, it doesn't matter about it. For example, just like the other day, His Grace Ramarup Prabhu was explaining the story of that Yamaraj. He was having this $1 million question, whom to give this sin. The South Indian sannyasi was fed with curd rice by a Brahmana, and that curd was having poison in it. How? Because the lady who was bringing poison on her head in the matki, it was uncovered by the wind. And some bird was carrying cobra snake. And that struggling cobra snake's poison had dripped inside the curd only, exactly. And that curd, by the will of providence, was fed to the South Indian sannyasi. And he died. And Yamaraj and Chitragupta had this $1 million question, whom to punish? And then, as Dharmadev speaks to Parikshit Maharaj in the first canto, Suchakasya tad bhavet. One who pinpoints, he is the one because of whom this has happened. Suchakasya tad bhavet. Remaining all four fingers are with us. He is the culprit. So, the person was pinpointing at the Brahmana, he was punished by Yamaraj. So, although it is true or false, we do not know. For example, one Vaishnava Acharya was giving the example. Suppose XYZ devotee builds a very nice temple and he comes and tells me, this devotee built a very nice temple. And that Acharya was telling, this is the secret of going back home, back to Godhead. It's very simple, but very hard to follow. If I hear that glorification of third Vaishnava and become happy within my heart, oh, such a nice work he has done for Krishna. I don't have to do anything. Even if I don't bring even a single rupee or a single brick, if I become happy within the course of my heart, then Krishna becomes happy. Krishna may not become happy with the devotee who is building the temple. May become or may not become, because it depends upon his intention and ulterior motives. But Krishna will certainly become happy upon us if we have that right intention of appreciating devotees, and we get that benefit. Another example. Suppose if I go to some devotee and tell that XYZ devotee has stolen 100 rupees. I have heard this. Although I did not see, but I heard that he has stolen 100 rupees. He might have stolen, he might not have stolen also. But I will get the sin of stealing 100 rupees because I spoke about it. And one who hears, he will also get the sin of stealing 100 rupees. He might not have stolen also. That is the result of blaspheming, hearing the blasphemy and doing the blasphemy of a Vaishnava. Hanti, first is killing Vaishnava, second is blaspheming a Vaishnava, third is becoming envious of a Vaishnava. We don't feel happy if somebody is singing very nicely. If we have envious attitude towards a particular Vaishnava, if he is singing nicely, then we don't feel happy. If he is doing very nice seva, and if we have that envy within our heart, then it's an offense, according to Skanda Puran. If we fail to offer pranams to a Vaishnava, that is also a Vaishnava aparadh. If we are having some physical limitation, some problem in the body, then it's okay. Then in the mind we should offer. But we must offer pranams to a Vaishnava. It is compulsory. If we don't offer, that's an offense. If we become angry with a Vaishnava, it may happen a subordinate devotee or some devotee may commit some mistake while rendering some services. It's possible. But if we become angry unnecessarily too much with some ulterior motive, then it's an offense. We see in the case of Prabhupada, Prabhupada became so many times angry with his disciples. But his motive was to rectify them and make them progressive in Krishna consciousness. His motive was different. And last, sixth is Harsham. When we do not become happy, pleased by seeing a devotee, अरे फिर आ गया, इसका मुख वापस देखना पड़ेगा. Again he came. यही बैठा है क्या? I will not sit there. We say in the same bus, I will not sit with that devotee. I will not, it happens. Or in the case of being a brahmachari, I have this experience in the ashram also. I will not go in that room. I will not stay in that room because I don't gel. It's my own pitfall. I also need to overcome this. But It happens. If you don't become happy, that's also an offense. So these are 6 different types of offenses towards a Vaishnava. And we should try to overcome those offenses in order to achieve the desired result of the king of all mantras, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. To get the desired result of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, as Srila Prabhupada says, we need to avoid these 10 offenses, and specifically the Vaishnava Aparad, which is divided into and explained in 6 different ways. Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Nectar of Instruction, Upadeshamrut, many times he repeats one thing, that is bad association. Atyahar prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha. Those people who are too much greedy. Shadvir bhakti vinashyati. Another, next verse, he says, Utsahat nischayat dhairya tat karma pravartanat. Sanga tyagat. Again, he is stressing, he is emphasizing this bad association. Again, going further, he mentions Anya nindadi shunya ridimipsita sanga labdhya. We should seek the association of such devotees who do not blaspheme others. Anya nindadi shunya ridimipsita sanga labdhya. So, this association of materialistic people, those who blaspheme others, what to speak of devotees, we should not even blaspheme materialistic people. That's why, on these grounds, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, because of such bad association, we commit Vaishnava Aparad. If we keep harboring bad association, start enjoying their company even little bit. Sadhu Sangha, koy. Sarva, lava matra sadhu Sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. So the same logic is applied to Asat Sangha also. Even if little bit we start to enjoy their company, it will affect. Just like in Indian advertisement, Bollywood advertisement, television advertisement, they used to say, Aya Naya Ujala, Char Bundo Wala. Just by putting 3-4 drops in the whole barrel full of water, it becomes entirely blue. So similarly, just few seconds of association with materialistic people, our life becomes diluted, offensive. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, because of such association, we commit offenses. That's why we see so many sincere devotees serving after over a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades, suddenly we say they commit some blunderous activity. How? Unimaginable also sometimes. How? Because of some tinge of material association, then they commit Vaishnava Aparad, and it is mentioned that because of Vaishnava Aparad, depending upon the gravity of that aparad, Krishna implants the materialistic desires in such devotees' hearts. That's why we see so many sincere devotees serving years together. Suddenly they disappear from the movement. Because of some small materialistic association, then committing some Vaishnava Aparad, and that results in total devastation. That's why Srila Rupa Goswami, again and again, he warns in Upadeshamrut. Jana sangascha laulyamcha, sanga tyagat sato vritti, anya nindadi shunya ridimipsita sanga labdya. So this association is very important. While teaching to Sanatana Goswami in Varanasi, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mentions, while being in the stage of sadhaka, then when we advance, even when we become pure devotee, then also we need the association of pure devotees. At every stage of our devotional service, we need proper association. There is no time that we don't need association of proper pure devotees. Always we need proper association. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says to Sanatana Goswami, Swato sadhu sangha swato vare. We should seek such sadhu sangha who are more advanced than us for our own nourishment and protection. When in the case of Jivadaya, while preaching, we can go to some other living entities and preach them. But to nourish and protect us, we always need the higher association. Sadhu Sangha Swato Vare. We should seek such Sadhu Sangha which is Swato Vare. Vare means Sreshta. Then we will be able to achieve the desired result of this Maha Mantra. As Prabhupada says, this mantra works. As in the case of Yuvanashva, it was chanted properly, so it worked. Then Maharaj Mandata appeared, or he took birth. So similarly, if we chant this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare, properly under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, then we will have the desired result of Krishna Prema. It is possible. This will work because Srila Prabhupada says this. Hare Krishna. So I stop here. If there are any comments, so I request, or questions. Maharaj, would like to add something? Surdaspo?
As it is suggested that we should not speak, we should not hear.
Closer, I am unable to hear you. Hold it closer to your mouth.
Okay.
Almost you are eating it.
Yes.
As Maharaj says. Yeah.
It is regarding that blasphemy of a devotee. If we hear something about a devotee, maybe something bad, so hearing and speaking both, it is not good. But if we know it is a fact, and until if we don't, we are not allowed to speak, we are not allowed to hear, then what should be the solution to rectify the person? We should keep our eyes closed, seeing all those things. Or
Srila Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, he has set an ideal example for your question. Whenever we get a notice or we know that he will blaspheme some Vaishnava, we should immediately quit that place or leave that place immediately. That is the first action we should do. Or if it is possible, we should force him to hear Srimad Bhagavatam or speak something else, glories of devotees or glories of Lord Krishna. Means ideally, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, whether it is fact also, still he would leave that place. He would not hear that at all. He never heard of Vaishnava blasphemy. He never heard. That's an ideal standard. We should do that. But in the case of a manager or if you are president and if you have some devotees subordinate to you, and if they have committed some mistake and it's needed to be rectified, then with the motive of constructive for the preaching mission, whatever is needed to be taken to improve and rectify that devotee, it can be heard if you are an authorized devotee to hear it. But if you are nobody, neither you are the president nor you are his authority, and still you are not hearing with the proper attitude to rectify the devotee, we should not at all hear. If you are not concerned, then we should not hear only. It is a circle of influence and circle of concern. If we are not concerned, why should we hear? If we are the authority of that particular devotee, then we may hear with the intention of saving the preaching mission and rectifying the particular devotee with a proper intention. Hare Krishna. Am I right, Maharaj? Correct? Would you like to add something, Prabhu? Please give microphone to Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So you are hearing this sound now, correct? So who is responsible for this? So if within your heart you get an, idea that this sound, which is happening at the time of a class, it may be good to rectify things over there, but it's happening in the class. And if the person says that this is not really good, and now who is the responsible for this? This is the temple president or the temple commander. So we have to tell Prabhuji, next time, between the time of the class, don't allow anybody to work here because it is creating unconducive sound at the time of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is not really offense. Okay?
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji.
And then, if you see some devotee doing anything, there's a hierarchy in the temple.
Yes.
Okay? There are different temple commander, then department head, temple vice president, then temple president, then zonal secretaries, then the GBC, and above them also the GBC is the chairman GBC. So everywhere there are steps to be taken, and if this, because this is a movement, this is an organization, and in organization we need an organizational hierarchy, and we also have to emerge as the best devotees so that we add to the moment but not subtract anything in the moment. So we must follow the hierarchy which has been set by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Then it is not called offense. It will be always adding to the enhancements of the movement or individual person. So it's all based on our humility, compassion, care. It all comes in that. So please keep that in your mind. It will be always very good. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pooja. Jai Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaura Premanande.